Oh man, you sound terrible. Morning, race fam. Brian Davis races, and you can too. Today, my friends, we are going to the State Crit Championships of Wisconsin at Fitchburg, Wisconsin. The Fitchburg Festival of Speed. They have it's really cool. They have a 5K, they have a fun ride, they have racing, they have all kinds of stuff. It's a great event. I super support it. I love it. So hopefully if you're anywhere near Fitchburg, Wisconsin next summer, because you won't see this video till afterwards, so you won't be able to make it, but you should put Fitchburg Festival of Speed on your calendar. All right, so today, my friends, we are racing the Masters 2-3 category, and then I have a very long wait to wait for the pro race later in the evening. The only reason I'm doing it, it's like 5 hours later. The only reason I'm doing that is because my good friend of the channel, Brent, is going to be back in town. He moved to Reno, sad face, but he's going to be back in town racing the pro race. And I said, hey, if you race, I'll race. So I'm gonna show up for the pro race and have some fun with him for a moment until they go faster than me. But maybe not today. You know why? Because I feel amazing today. I feel really good. I sound terrible. I have a little bit of a sickness I'm fighting, but my power numbers are looking really good. My weight is really good. My confidence level in racing is really good. Like, there's a lot of really good happening. We have a 2-hour drive to get down there. We're gonna get cracking on that, and then we're gonna race bikes. Cue the starting line, I think. Go. All right, race fam, welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. While I got you, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. What could I have done better in this race and the next race? So this is a huge video. There's going to be 2 races in this one video. That's why it's so long, so bear with me. If you want to get to the pro race, skip ahead till like minute 15 or so, somewhere in there. And otherwise, this is the Master 2-3 race. Now there's, I think, like, I don't know, maybe 10 of us in this Masters 2-3 race. This is the State Crit Championship at Fitchburg, Wisconsin. I am recording this a few days later, so some of the details might escape me, but I think you'll get the gist of it. Now, I had a really good day racing my bike at this whole event. And speaking of this whole event, it's an awesome event. Like I said in the intro, it's really, really special. So if you get a chance, if you're anywhere near the area, the Fitchburg Festival of Speed is what you want to look up. It's great for the family. It's great for the bike racer. Try to jump into that next year. They do an amazing job. Fireworks at the end, 5K, 1 mile, $1,000 run if you qualify in the 5K. There's all kinds of stuff going on throughout the day. They have excellent announcers all day long that do a really nice job of filling people in on what bike racing is all about, what some of the tactics are. It's fantastic. So appreciate the announcers shouting out the channel as well. So for sure, Zach, and I don't know the other person's name, I'm sorry, but I just enjoyed the heck out of them all day, so they were great. All right, so here we go in the Masters Studio. I'm going to let that first lap play through. You can see over there in the corner, I have the wind, just those 2 arrows. It's going to be a headwind going through the start-finish the whole time. So we're just about to hit the headwind here just to orient you with how the day went. And this long straight goes into a headwind. The headwind was not significant, but it was enough, you know, you definitely felt it. And then we had great weather. The temperature was great. We had a little overcast day, but overall things were pretty delightful all day long. All right, so in this race, my goal going into this was I have a teammate in the race, John Lester. John's super strong. There's 1 or 2 other people in this race that we really need to keep an eye on. Maybe 3 or 4 other people. Actually, everyone in this race was super strong, so it was hard to say, like, what was going to happen in any way, shape, or form, or who you needed to go with. It could have been anybody that had the right muscles to get the job done. So here I'm going up the road with old friend, old teammate Derek Hughes, and I thought, this is great. I'm going to go up the road with Derek. I know how Derek rides. I know how he works. I know that I'm happy to contribute with Derek. I know that our sprints are relatively close, so it would have been an awesome race if we would have been able to stay away. But in the end, we did not. We're going to get pulled back here pretty quickly. So the way to pay attention to these races, by the way, if you look at the duration down at the bottom of the screen, probably over there, or maybe over there, I don't know, wherever it says duration, that's how you're going to be able to follow when I skip ahead in the editing. So just so you know, because I don't always catch it with my voice, what's happening. So here's the interesting moment. Anderson's going to go up the road and attack. I don't know if this is his full-fledged attack or not. Anyway, like I said, I had a teammate in here. John and I are very different racers. He can go long, he can go solo, he's got huge FTP numbers, he's got incredible endurance, and I am not quite that way. I'm more of a fast twitcher. Well, at least I used to be. I'm not sure my sprint really exists anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little sad about that. But anyway, I felt great going into today's race. My numbers were good. I did have like a chest cold, head cold thing going on, so I was a little worried about how that was going to manifest itself. But as I got warmed up in the race, things felt pretty good. So again, this looked like it was going to be a pretty cool move. I think that other riders from Chicago, Anderson up here, so the three of us would have been in good shape. I think that other rider is definitely more of a sprinter, but we get shut down again. So that's kind of the gist of this race for a while, is attack, a shutdown, attack, a shutdown. And in fact, the pro race was that way too. So this course is pretty straightforward. That long straightaway, we make after turn 1, that goes uphill, and then turn 2 into turn 4, really, I guess, sort of. It gets, anyway, the last turn, whatever you want to call that, is a downhill, plus we had a tailwind this day. So really, really fast backside of the course. All right, so I don't know how I'm feeling at this moment. 158 heart rate for me, that's quite a bit, so I'm probably a little bit gassed. Now, eventually up the road is going to be a strongman breakaway that I am not a part of, but before we get to that moment, I'm going to try to be my own strongman here shortly and do my own thing. So this rider on the front from Hollander in the orange kit, he consistently pulled things back, and I noticed that pretty quickly into the race, and I thought, well, if he does that 4, 5, 6 times, that'll get old, right? That'll get old. And then that might be the opportunity for me to go up the road. So I'm not sure of the tactic of pulling all these moves back. I don't believe that he had a teammate in the race, so I'm not sure what the responsibility was for that rider to feel like he wanted to go take everything back, but that's fine. Again, I recognize that as an issue, and tried to avoid getting pulled back by him by waiting until he had to do that for other people. So there goes my teammate up the road, John, and then Patrick, the giant German, goes after him. And those two are going to go up the road, but this is not going to be the one that makes it, because the rider in front of me here, Mike Budd, is the one who eventually gets into the 3-man break. So there's 3 up the road right now. I think we're going to shut this down again. And then coming up shortly, I think I'm going to have an opportunity to make my move. Now, we'll see where we end up here on the next edit. Bear with me. Okay, yeah, we're all going to come back in. My teammate John going up the road would be great for me, because then I could sit in. I don't have any responsibility to do anything. I could softly block and wait for the sprint at the end. So John went up the road. That didn't work. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward throughout a little chunk of the race here. Yeah, so this race was actually pretty consistently hard. There was a lot of pulling in this race. I was kind of surprised by that. In the beginning, a number of attacks, a number of pullbacks, a number of attacks, a number of pullbacks. Even for our small field, it was pretty animated, which is fun to race. It was a blast. So, all right, I'm taking a look here. Let's see. I think this is when Anderson is up the road. Yeah, I think this is when Anderson's up the road solo, and this was probably my biggest mistake of the race, is when Anderson was up the road solo. I remember seeing that happen, but I also remember not doing anything about it. And then Anderson, to his credit, sort of dangled in front of the group like, hey, it'd be great if somebody would join me. So nobody ended up bridging up to solo Anderson, and Anderson he'll work, right? Like, no problem there. So that would have been a smart move for me to do. I could have left John back blocking. John's really well marked in this category, so if John would have tried to go join Anderson, that would have spurred lots of activity. But I feel like I could have tried to make that jump up to Anderson. I also feel like Anderson would have waited for me to join him, and then we could have been there he is. You can see him. I'm 99% sure that's him. So we go a number of laps working on Anderson, and he's just sort of dangling in the front, again, on purpose. He's waiting for somebody to come up and join him, and I wish I would have figured that out or had the legs to go up there and do that, because I think that would have been the smarter move than what I'm about to do. Right? Wait for it. I think what I'm about to do. Yeah. Okay, there's Anderson coming back. And now I'm going to make a cut Yep, that was Anderson. That was the right move. So I think that's what I left on the road, is not doing that. So another little attack here. I'm going to follow that. I seem to be really good at following attacks, not so adept at doing my own attacks. And that would have been the right opportunity, right? Like looking back on that Anderson moment, that would have been the right opportunity for me to take the bull by the horn, take control of the race, and go do something about it. But oh well, didn't do that. All right, another little edit here. This is that orange kit rider. I think that's him. So after he pulls, I think he went up the road by himself for a minute. So I'm thinking this would be the opportunity to potentially do something, because my number one suspect for pulling back stuff might be a little bit gassed at the moment. I think this is when I piece it all together. Let's see if I make my move here or not. And if I didn't, I should have. This would have been the right opportunity to attack. Again, leaving my teammate on the front end. Is this? Okay, this is when I attack. Good job, Brian. Way to go. Woohoo! All right. So I come across that turn. I try to chop some wheels so I can create some separation, and I do just that. Hit this backside pretty hard. I probably should have gone a little bit sooner on that uphill to create more separation, or give myself a little bit more time to get away. But the group does not seem bothered by me going up the road whatsoever. So I get a huge gap all by myself, and let's count the laps. So that's one. Well, not quite one yet. Let's wait till we get around the bend here. And so I create the gap. I look back. Of course, I see I have plenty of room. So I'm just trying to settle into a rhythm as quickly as I can. Like, hey, can you just hit 300? Try to stay at 300. Try to stay at 300. Maybe 310. Thank you, spectator, for coming across the road. Flashbacks. Flashbacks. All right. So I wish the pace car would have waited a second. Oh, I forgot to keep track of the laps. I don't know. Maybe this is 2 out there. So I'm 33 minutes into a 60-minute race, and I'm thinking, I'm doing that math to myself, and I'm beating myself up a little bit, to be honest with you. I'm thinking, like, is this really all you got left? You're going to go up here for 2 laps. This is your big move for the day. So I'm a little critical of myself during this little solo breakaway. But this is, probably not the move for me. If anything, I should have done what Anderson did and just dangle in the front a little bit and wait for somebody else to bridge up to me. If 1 or 2 riders would have been able to do that, that would have been perfect. I feel like 3 people, me with 2 others, could have made an effort, could have made a go for it. And then if we do get pulled back, that would have been the opportunity for my teammate John to go up the road. So we could just trade punches like that. But ultimately that didn't really happen. I guess it sort of in a way happened, but not quite as smoothly as I just laid out. John and I, interestingly, before the race, we were like, I don't know, do we mark this person? Do we do our own thing? So we just kind of went back and forth on tactics, but ultimately we just wanted to go out and have fun. So I did that. I had fun. It was really hard. I felt pretty proud of myself for this effort, to be honest with you, for sticking with this little solo breakaway for quite a while. And ultimately, what I later found out is that it was the orange rider that did a fair amount of work to bring me back, which is fine. It would have been better to not do that. But here I am back in the group. I'm caught after however many minutes. So now we're 48 minutes into this 60-minute race. So we're 12 minutes left in the race. And in a minute, we're going to have my teammate, John, is going to put in his move, and then he's going to get tailed on by 2 other riders, and they're going to finish off the break. Or they might already be up there. Yeah, I think that's my teammate John up there. Mike Budd is up there, and then Patrick is the one that's bridging up. He left our group in a violent sprint effort to leave us behind, and it worked very effectively. So Patrick won this race last year with John also in the break, just those 2, and then I came in 3rd and took the field sprint. This year there's going to be 3 riders up the front. I did talk a little bit with John about this, and it would have been better if John would have not pulled and stopped. All right, so here's what happened here. There's 4 laps left in this race. My front tire gives up the ghost. My tubeless has frustrated me, so I'm super angry about the tubeless situation at this moment. And then later throughout the week, I've fixed my tubeless problem, and it is completely my fault. I understand what's happening with my tubeless. I'm leaving the sealant in there too long. I'm not regularly changing it out, so I'm getting boogers in there that are quite large. And it's creating some sealing issues. And also the tape, the rim tape, was not great. So the official comes over, pulls me from the race. That's the end of it. Now imagine this, though. If I would have kept that solo breakaway going and I would have had that flat with 4 to go, oh my gosh, tears just streaming down my face.
Well, that sucks. Stupid, tubeless, freaking dumb, stupid, tubeless.
Break stick. I don't think he's going to catch those lead 3 though, Luke. But even if
Done
one
with tubeless.
person from that last
I'm back on tubeless.
has a chance to be in that fifth place spot.
Not even a week later.
Yeah, so we should
Ooh, that was hot.
So,
I got a haircut too. See that? No more wings to fly.
I don't know what.
Here's our guy Brian.
I just came in for an interview. So.
Yeah, he's catching the. Check out his YouTube channel. We'll figure out about his mechanical. It looks like unfortunately he's going to drop out of the race. But he's going to go cheer for his teammate John Lester. John has some Diablo unfinished business here to go. Talked about
John in this race, I feel like he would have been wise to put in the effort here, put in a dig here with 2 to go, and try to drop those 2, or stop pulling maybe 2 laps ago and just stop pulling and see what the other 2 guys do, willing to go back and lose everything in order to make those 2 work harder or differently. But I wasn't there, I don't know, so pretty happy with a 3rd place finish for John. Mike got 2nd. Great race, great race. All right, let's get ready to do the pro race.
That was an impressive win. You saw great bike racing.
Oh, I'm going to show the field sprint here at the end.
For the second year in a row. We are, though, our podium, though, still up for grabs. We're going to go 5 deep in, coming around in. Looks like 4th place. That's going to be our friend from Illinois, Marcin Rudnick. And finishing
all right, there you have it. The Masters 2-3.
Going to be Adam Rachel as the rest of our riders.
All right, friends, it's a few hours, a lot of hours after our race, and I'm reflecting on it a little bit. So definitely made some mistakes. Probably should not have done a solo break. If I'm gonna do a solo break, I should have waited for somebody to come up to me. I think the play of the day that I screwed up was when Anderson was up the road by himself, just waiting for somebody to come join him. That was the one I should have joined, because I think the favorites were marking each other and nobody really cared if I would have gone up there. At least I don't think so. So anyway, and then I flatted with 4 to go on my tubeless tire. That's super frustrating and makes me mad. So I decided to wait and do the pro race. Also, mainly because my friend Brent is back in town after moving to Reno, and he's going to race. So then myself, John Lester, and Brent are all going to do the pro race. So that should be super fun. I'm excited about it. But the pro race is not till 7:30 at night, so it's a very long wait. But you don't have to wait, dear viewers, because we're going to start the pro race right meow. All right, friends, here we are in the pro race, just like that. Now, this is many hours later, let me tell you that. We raced at 11:30 a.m. for the Masters 2-3, and then we didn't race again this pro race till 7:30 p.m. That was a very long wait. We debated quite a bit about racing or not racing because there was maybe some weather coming in, but ultimately we pulled the trigger, we registered, we raced, all is well, right? So also we get t-shirts at this race, and the t-shirts are actually really cool, so I forgot to mention that as all the cool stuff that Fitchburg does. So straight away I'm like, well, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, so I'm gonna jump up to the front of the race and at least show up, at least get the kit in the front of the race for a second. Now, I have 2 teammates in this race. I have John Lester, who joined us again for the pro race, and then Brent, like I said, is in from out of town. So exciting to race with my friends. We have a good amount of teammates. The 801 team is really well represented. The guys from Trek and Adept Cycling, or maybe it's Adapt. I forgot. There it is. Adapt Cycling. They have three of them, I think. Velocause has 3. So we're one of the larger teams with 3 people. But 2 of us are pretty exhausted, to be honest with you, from a long day of sitting around in a pretty hard Masters 2-3 race. But Patrick's in that same situation. He raced with us as well. So the pro race is, I would say, was a little bit different than the Masters 2-3 just because it's either on or off in the beginning. So it's either full out straight lining to catch somebody who tried to go away, or we're pretty relaxed. The 2-3 race seemed to just have more consistent pulls, which is fine, whatever. So I'm feeling like not awful, but I know that my time is limited in this race. This is a 90-minute race, and I know there's very low chance that I'll make this whole race. But I want to have a good showing. I want to do what I can to support the team. I do remember very clearly Brent saying, if you are the one in the split, do not come back. And that little piece of knowledge from Brent, I don't know, like a veiled threat, perhaps? I'm not sure what to call it. But anyway, he was very clear. Don't come back if you make it up there, which is good. That's true. You're not supposed to come back, right? Like, if you're up there, you're up there. Don't come back. But that kept running through my head because we're going to have a moment coming up here where I'm in a situation like that, and that's all that goes through my head is don't come back. So just showing some attacks and pullbacks, attacks, pullbacks, attacks, pullbacks. And so the video's a little choppy during the editing. Hopefully that smooths out. All right. Yep, now we got a little move up the front, and that includes my teammate, Brent. So this is ideal. I thought that was going to be the one that got away. Again, seeing the duration is interesting, so that move went up the road, and I thought, all right, that's going to be it. I can relax. But then we pull them back. The 801 team I don't think was represented, so they pulled us all back together. And then we're going to open ourselves up to attacks again. That rider that just left flued the coupe, his name escapes me. He ended up getting second place. I believe that was him. Oh, I better take that back. I'm not sure. All right. So anyway, there you go. So there's now another move up the front, and I roll up to the front like I don't want to do this, but thinking that probably would have been a wheel that I could have grabbed. Gabe, I believe it was, to do that. Well, here comes friend of the channel whose name escapes me, but appreciate you saying hi at the race. Sorry I forgot the name, but also appreciate this pull. Again, all gonna come back together. So now duration's at 27 minutes, and that's an interesting move. Patrick, who won the 2-3 race, hits it hard, gets away from us to try to go join another group up the road. And again, I saw that, but I just don't have the legs to close that gap and join Patrick on that move. So, okay, no problem. All right, here we go again. Now it's a move, right? So there's a move up the road, and then I really seem to be pretty good at following wheels to jump up there with, at timing that right. So I join this person. I don't have his name, I apologize, but we worked pretty well together, and we both said I had like equal struggles during this race. We'll see how that unfolds. And then Anderson joins us, and Anderson, we see all three of us have a gap to try to join that group that's right there, just right there. So there's 4 riders right there, and then there's us, our little three-man group here. I think there's 4 up there, if that's right. So this was a struggle. I was struggling on this hill. I was probably ready to quit, but as soon as we get this tailwind, for whatever reason, I felt pretty decent again, and I'm able to close the gap to my friend here. And my friend's going to bring me back up to this, pretty close to this group. And then this is where I'm going to sort of park myself and dangle. This is I just couldn't quite get over the hump to join this break. But I just do want to take a time out and say, like, hey, Brian made the break. Brian made the break. Holy cow. I'm in the pro race, and I made the right break. This is all really good news. Do I stay there? I don't know. Stay tuned. Smash the like button, and maybe I'll stay there. If you don't smash the like button, maybe I won't. So smash the like button. All right, now we're dangling. Oh, man, this is so painful. I'm so close to getting to be at this stage where I want to be. I'm in the right move. I'm going the right direction. I'm like right there. I feel like my fitness is right there. My race tactics are right there. Like I don't know. I just feel like I'm about to start knocking over dominoes and putting pieces together. So I'm proud of the efforts that I've put in. I'm proud of the executing on the coaching that I'm getting from Zach, and it's starting to pay off. Like I'm second race of the day, active in the pro race, doing something meaningful for myself and for our team tactically. So this is awesome. This is a good moment. All right. So what happened just back there? I want to back that up. Rob went up and pulled in the ABD group. He went up and pulled. He came back. He saw some dangling, and he wanted to come back and deal with this dangling. So he creates this gap. I even say to him, like, oh, man, good move. I'm gassed. And then he goes back to rejoin. And then, and then that. Gosh, I got to say I don't like that. So again, here's the gap creation. Rob looks around. Yep, we're hurting. You did it right. You made life harder for us. But I'm not sure that this move was necessary. Right there. So Rob comes over to cut the wheel to limit the momentum of the adapt rider, but he ends up putting his rear axle directly into the spokes of that adapt rider. How that adapt rider kept it up, I have no idea. I hit my brakes like for sure this guy is going to be flying in front of me, but he didn't. He kept it up. Excellent riding there. Rob's an incredibly talented rider. He wins a lot of races, lots and lots and lots of races. He absolutely understands tactics, dynamics of racing. He's extremely talented, and this is one little blip on a great rider's resume, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's just one moment. We all have these moments, right? And I'm 100% sure that he didn't mean to put his axle into the front wheel of the competitor. I'm 100% sure of that. It just happened to work out that way. But I'm glad everybody's okay. Everybody stayed upright. No harm, no foul. So here we go. I'm, again, dangling. Almost able to get this group, but I just can't do it. And all I'm thinking about is, Brent, don't come back. Don't come back. Don't come back. No! I'm going to come back very quickly. So the lights are out. Nobody's home. Legs are shot. Day's over. That's going to be all she wrote for the pro race. So I made it 36 minutes. It's into the 90-minute race. I was able to sit on the sidelines and watch. The break, I was right, was the winning break that I was with, but it didn't end up working. Now that break got whittled away, and I think there was only 2 people that ended up finishing the break and sprinting for the finish. So congrats to everybody that did that pro race. I thought I had a blast all day long. I love this race, the Fitchburg race. So yeah, super fun. Thanks for watching the channel, everybody. If you can, again, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I'll have a lot more content coming out this summer. I got a lot more races planned, so stick with me. Thanks. Bye.
Speaking of Fitchburg and faces and stuff,